What do Falcons do? We rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reaction, the show we talk about things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and the general sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, the Golden Hard Dog and a lifelong sports fan. And guys, what is quickly becoming a tradition for me, streaming at least part of the first round of the NFL draft. Coming in here for 2025, I have been less than enthused by my Dirty Birds. I have not made nearly as much content over the last this off season as I have in off seasons prior. But I'm jumping back in. I'm trying to be optimistic about this whole thing. Trying to be different, doing this on Streamyard. Trying to see if this actually works out. So yeah, hopefully some of you guys will actually be able to tell me if this is working or not. Don't have anybody in the live stream yet, and it looks like maybe I don't have any viewers, but it is okay. We are jumping in live. Got to send this out to a few people actually, now that I actually have the link to it. But anyways, yeah, we're looking forward to getting started here with the NFL draft. So got about 10 minutes until we start picking. This is the first time in a long time that the Falcons have not been picking late, have not been picking early rather. We've had the 8th pick for the last 3 years in a row. So yeah, that's been kind of wild. So I am trying this on StreamYard, and unfortunately, it is not showing me much in the way of comments or anything. I'm not sure if I'll actually be able to see that, which is unfortunate. I'm just really not sure that I'll be able to tell what's going on here with it. May have whoever has joined me. I'm not sure who it is. Yes, I do. Thank you. That is super duper helpful, my love. That was absolutely incredible. For those of you who don't know, my wife's name is Jordan. She apparently has not changed her name on YouTube, but anyway, she's got her main name up there. I won't show it, but yeah. So we are getting started here. Got to send this out to a few people. I know, love. I know it's you. So I gotta send this out. Gotta find my link here and send it out to a few people. But yeah, this is the third year that I have done a live stream of some kind. Yeah, so this is the third year I've done a live stream of some kind, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. Again, I don't know how this is going to go this year. I feel like this is one of the most wide open drafts we've had in a long time. I feel like in years past, you could probably be pretty accurate on who the first 5 or 6 picks are. But this year, you've got the Browns picking second overall, and I genuinely don't know who they're going to take. I know they probably should take Travis Hunter, but I strongly suspect that they are going to do a Browns move and take somebody like Shedeur Sanders, which I think is insane. Anyways, I am sorry for this. I'm trying to get this out to everybody. I don't even know how to find this on the tube of you. So let's see here. All right, guys, trying to get a little bit of technical stuff out of the way. But yeah, it's been a really good time overall. I have very much enjoyed doing this for the last few years. And yeah, the Falcons, we're in desperate need of an edge rusher. So we will see if we are able to get that or not tonight. Mike Green is the guy that everybody thinks is going to be joining the Falcons. That's who everybody seems to want. My ultimate hope for the Falcons would be that we can find a trade partner. You got to have a partner to do that, and potentially somebody like the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Houston Texans, who have been rumored to do it. So yeah, that would be the most ideal situation to potentially find ourselves in. But you never know. This is going to be a wild night. I'm going to be waiting a little bit longer than I have in years past. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting night tonight. I apologize. I am trying to get this out to some people. So we're just getting things going here. Nothing really has happened yet with the draft, so it's okay. It's not a big deal here. We're still doing perfectly fine. Alrighty. And this guy get this out to people tonight. Otherwise, it's just going to be me talking to myself and no audience, and that's not a lot of fun. But it's kind of what I expect. I don't expect to have a ton of audience tonight. Whatever I get will be awesome. But again, this is kind of a last minute thing for me. I wasn't really expecting to do this. Again, the Falcons have just really they've let me down. They've let a lot of fans down as well. Trying to find all my dirty birds and send them this link. I do an individual though. It's always weird doing a giant group text with people that don't know each other. So let's see here. Welcome to anybody that's joined the stream so far. We got 3 of you guys live. Appreciate you being here. I'm just trying to get a little bit more engagement personally, so I'm texting on the phone here, trying to get some people joining us. My setup really is I've got YouTube TV playing, basically where I'm looking right now, so I can see, but I can't hear anything about the draft just because my microphone's kind of screwing that up. But I will have a separate screen that I'm going to pull up. I am subscribed to Pro Football Focus and have been for a couple of years now. So that will be something that I end up pulling up. So just, again, trying something new here. So I will have PFF up at a different point in time here. Obviously, they have not started the draft. We don't have any actual picks going on yet. So in years past, this has been a way for me to kind of know the pick ahead of time. Last year being one where whoever is on the inside for PFF was able to tell us about the Michael Penix pick basically a full 5 minutes before it actually happened. So I had to basically sit here, and if any of you want to go back and watch it from last year, it was wild. That was a wild time. We had just brought on Kirk Cousins, which is its own special saga, independent of everything else going on here. But that is its own special saga and its own special hell that the Falcons have found themselves involved in. But again, the Falcons, they're going to do what they do. They have taken offensive players, skill position players, the last 4 years. I would have strongly argued against that in the Kyle Pitts year. That's where it all started. Because of what we've needed, I'm glad we had Drake London. We got him in the 2022 draft. I'm glad we have him. He's a very solid player. Don't love that we spent our 8th overall pick on a wide receiver when we could have had an edge rusher that we have desperately needed. Then we turn around and take Bijan Robinson. Again, love the guy. Dynamic player. Probably one of the best players in that draft. We needed an edge rusher. And we chose not to do that. And then finally get to last year. And we're talking about we just signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million deal, $100 million of which was guaranteed. We weren't going anywhere from Kirk Cousins. We're going to have to pay him. We're going to have to do something. Which it's a win now pick. And we go get Michael Penix Jr., number 8 overall, which was wild. That was something that was like in the back of my mind that could happen. But I didn't actually expect that to be a thing. Like I literally didn't expect it. Nobody expected it. It was the wildest thing that we've seen in a while. And it just broke my brain for the Falcons. Like I had no clue what they were even thinking. Just really threw me for a loop on that one. Again, now I'm glad we have him. I'm glad we have Penix. He's looking good. He's been doing well so far in his few games. Not really his fault that we lost the Washington game. That one, I would say, was much, much more to do with a bad situation, not having a clutch kicker. We had a chance to win that game late. I think we had a chance to win. It was either win or tie, but either way, we had a chance to win that game, and we blew it. We've been dominating most of the day, but we blew it. So it is what it is. Still sending out to a bunch of people here. Heck, I'm even going to involve some Saints fans from back in my time in Mobile, Alabama. Like, I'll get them involved because, I happily put on my little banner here, the New Orleans Aints, because I don't really like them at all. But yeah, that's my least favorite team. We'll see how this goes. So, it's nice to not be picking first in our division, although Carolina's been doing that for a hot minute now. Carolina is still the first team to pick tonight out of the NFC South. Just thinking about the order, it's coming up across the screen. We got Tennessee; they're pretty locked in. I think almost everybody agrees they're going to take Cam Ward because they almost have to. Is that the most judicious use of the number 1 overall pick? Probably not. It honestly probably should be Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. And again, this could be a wild night. This could be a really strange draft. Everybody's pretty much in agreement that they're going to take Cam Ward. But what if they don't? What if they don't? And then Cleveland gets a shot at Cam Ward. And I feel very strongly like if Tennessee does not take Cam Ward, that they are going to be taking either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter and will very likely be the number 1 trade partner with the Atlanta Falcons for Kirk Cousins. I think that immediately makes them the number 1 trade destination for Kirk Cousins. Obviously, they're picking at the top of round 2 as well, so they could obviously come back and get somebody like Jackson Dart, who I think is a solid quarterback. Yes, and I've got some commenting going on. Looks like Chip is in with us here. Thank you, Chip. Yes, I agree. I think it's a lock. I think Cam Ward's a lock. I don't have any doubt that he is a lock. But this is a weird year. Tennessee does weird things in the draft. Nobody. This has been a thing for a long time. Nobody wants to tank in the NFL. Nobody wants to be bad for a couple of years to be great for the next 10. We very much have a win-now league. The Falcons have been in this weird low-end mediocre position for a while. I really wish a couple of years ago when we were projected to only win 2 games that we had done that indeed. We would have had better quarterback prospects. We would have had better draft position overall. Probably could have gotten some really impactful guys. Our team would look dramatically different. And who knows, maybe Arthur Smith would have actually stuck around and done something, but he was just good enough for us to not do well. But again, Chip, you're the only one in here right now, so I'll just tell you, I cannot hear anything happening with the draft. My microphone kind of blocks my ability to hear things. So I've got YouTube TV on the left-hand side of my screen. I can't tell you who that is. I'm not up on rap. But I can see everything that's happening with the NFL draft in the first round here. It looks like Roger Goodell just came on stage. They're in Green Bay tonight. Tom Grassi is out there. He's a guy that I really admire and think a lot of. So we'll see what happens with him here. Yeah, I'm assuming that Roger Goodell is getting booed right now. That's like an annual tradition for him. Yeah, people were throwing their – yeah, I see the boos coming out here on the screen. So yeah, we're gonna get started. We got the NFL draft. Got pick number 1 coming up here. I agree. Boo Goodell. play devil's advocate, I feel like he's done a fairly good job among some pretty decent scandals, but I also feel like he is part of the reason that the game is becoming so much more expensive. My ticket prices went up. I know that there are fans out there who have given up their tickets. One of the gentlemen that Chip and I went to the Raiders game with was one of them because they jacked up their prices, and they have had now 8 losing seasons in a row. I gotta go back. Let's go back and think about this. Falcons record a year. Let's just see how the Falcons have done. Let's look at the list of Falcons seasons here and see going back. 2024 we were 8-9. 2021 through 2023, 7-10. That will probably never be repeated by any team. So that's 4 in a row. Go back another one to 2020, 4-12, bad year. Raheem Morris was also coincidental, our coach for part of that time. That's 5. 2019, 7-9. 2018, 7-9. Nope, I'm wrong. We've only been 7 seasons of losing. That's fair. I actually became a season ticket holder in 2018, so you can blame me if you want to. I have been a season ticket holder since 18. We've had no winning season since 18. The most wins I've ever seen was last year at 8-9, which is pathetic. Just flat out pathetic. Dan Quinn really was pretty good for us as a head coach. He's a guy that I think we didn't give enough credit to. I enjoyed Dan Quinn. I thought he was perfectly fine. It made sense going 0-5 in a year where we had no defense, so we fired him. But honestly, given what's happened since then, given his turnaround of Washington, you can't tell me that we would not rather have Dan Quinn than Raheem Morris or Arthur Smith at this point in time. I think we would have had a little more success that way. Anyways, again, we're getting ready for the draft here. It is what it is. And we're where we're at. I don't know how to say it any other way, but the Falcons are a mediocre franchise, and we're going to have to find a way tonight, hopefully, to get out of mediocrity. But for those of you who are just joining us, it looks like we've got another viewer in here. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe at any point, guys. We'll get started with the NFL draft here. Looks like we're about to announce on the clock, and obviously it's going to be Tennessee. I expect this to go pretty quick. It should be Cam Ward. Absolutely should be. Should it really be? No. Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter are easily guys that should be in any other year should be number 1 overall. And then I think the best offensive player coming off the board is definitely Ashton Jeanty. I am trying to think, looking at the draft order here. New York and New England would be insane to take him. Cleveland would be insane to take him. The Raiders, Jacksonville, they could throw a curveball and take him. I think he's possibly the best player available at pick 5, but they need offensive line help desperately. They need offensive and defensive line help desperately. So the Raiders, as much as they also need help with all those things, the Raiders would be an interesting landing spot. Y'all are going to have to forgive me tonight. There have been so many moves at quarterback. I don't really remember where everybody has gone. Like I don't even remember who the quarterback is right now for the Raiders. I'm going to have to look that up. Raiders QB. Geno. Okay, I knew it was somebody. I knew they'd trade for somebody. So Geno Smith. So can you imagine like Geno Smith along with Ashton Jeanty? Geno having a little bit of a resurgent career here. And then let's just look at their wide receiver room real quick. You got Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker. They don't have a ton of guys there. I mean, they could use a wide receiver big time. So they could even go – it would not hurt my feelings for the Raiders to, even potentially go with McMillan out of Arizona. I think McMillan is the best wide receiver on the board. Would not hurt my feelings for them to go him. I think they need an offensive weapon here, but they could do anything. They could take an offensive lineman. They could take a take a skill position player like McMillan or Jeanty. And just, again, kind of looking at the draft board here. a lot of these teams need a lot of things, and a skill position player is not necessarily going to be the difference maker here. Not for a lot of these teams. They're going to need some core pieces. They need to do, a lot of these teams need to do what the Falcons should have been doing this whole time, which is getting core pieces. I've been saying this for the last 4 freaking years. We needed core offensive linemen. We needed core defensive linemen. We needed the cornerstones of a team to build around. And what we've done is take luxury picks. Granted, those luxury picks are hopefully about to turn into a really high-flying offense. But now we've got to pay Drake London after the season. Bijan's coming up on the end of his contract. I would say Kyle Pitts is a huge freaking bust at this point. I would love to find a trade partner for him. I don't think we're going to find anybody unless it's on day 3. And then, we might have to settle for a pick next year. Whatever team takes him on is going to take $10 million. And I feel like if we were going to do that, we should have already. Yes, I agree. Arthur Smith was dog poo. Again, Dan Quinn would have loved to have kept him. But Arthur Smith, dog poo. Nice to have you on, Chase. Appreciate you, bud. Where were we? Yes. So the Falcons – not the Falcons. We're talking about other teams right now. So actually we are. So gotta get back on I'm losing my train of thought here. It's been a long day. So what are we talking about? We were talking about tight end Kyle Pitts. There we go. Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts he's got all the talent. He just doesn't know what to do with it. We either haven't used him correctly or he doesn't know what to do with all of his raw talent. I don't think he's been coached correctly. I think it's bad. I think Arthur Smith was the worst coach for him to have. And then Raheem Morris was also not great for him. We had Zach Robinson last year trying to find schemes for him. Seems like we did better as an offense when we found ways to use him. We'll see. Looks like the Tennessee Titans, just FYI, we're going to their draft room right now. Looks like they are making the call right now. You got smiles in the room. Everybody's happy to probably have Cam Ward. There's 5.5 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, they're already basically calling it for Cam Ward. Let's real quick jump over and see. Yeah, it's already done. It's a done deal. So again, I do have the live tracker for the NFL draft going on a separate screen with PFF. They have been early every single year for the last 2 that I've been a part of it. And they've been early by a large amount. So we're probably going to get the picks early. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I see today. Do I like this pick for Tennessee? Yes and no. I'm actually gonna say no, and the reason why is because legitimately, I think that Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter should be the number 1 and 2 picks in this draft. I don't think that he's very good in terms of like the quarterbacks we've seen in the past. I hope I'm wrong. I never want anybody to fail at the NFL level, except for now Deshaun Watson. I hope he just absolutely tanks and does terrible and never finds himself on the field again. He's made his money. He can go do whatever he wants. He can go get all of the massages that he wants now. But hopefully he does it in a way that is respectable of the people that are doing it to him. So anyways, that's my rants on good old Deshaun. So yeah, we'll jump back over here. But right now, looking like Cam Ward is a lock for pick number 1. Not really surprising, but man, can you imagine if they would have gone with like Travis Hunter? And now the draft, once they make this pick officially again, they're about to announce that Roger Goodell has not come out there to do that yet. Once they announce this, the draft really begins. This has been a foregone conclusion for a while now that Cam Ward was going to go number 1 overall. And again, once they make this, the draft really begins. What is Cleveland going to do? Cleveland needs a lot of help. Hold on one second. Goodell should be coming out anytime to actually make this pick official. But like I said, PFF has been pretty aggressive with – oh, snap, guys. Oh, baby, we have a trade alert. Trade alert. we are looking at pick number 2. I don't know what's been given up, but Cleveland has done something incredibly smart and traded back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville is absolutely going to take Travis Hunter. This is good for Jacksonville. They were at the 5th pick. I can't imagine they gave up more than maybe a second rounder, and it is official. Cam Moore's been taken. But, guys, we have a trade. The Jacksonville Jaguars are trading into pick number 2. We'll see. I don't have Twitter up, so I'm not sure what they gave up for this. I probably won't know that at all. But this is wild. We already have a trade into pick number 2. So if it was me, I would imagine they probably gave up. Yeah, they obviously moved back. You can see it right down here. Cleveland has moved back to pick 5. Still a solid position for them. This allows them to take that tackle position they're needing. It allows them to take McMillan. It allows them to take a lot of things. They could potentially get Ashton Genty if they wanted to here. This makes a heck of a lot more sense for the Genty pick than it does anything else. Yeah, PFF, not PFF, but just got an underdog notice that they have officially noted that too. So yeah, this is pretty wild. We've already got a trade, and it looks like some of y'all are telling me what's going on here. Yep, trade the pick to the Jags, 4th rounder this year, and oh wow, that is big. 4th rounder and the 2026 first round. Oh, Jacksonville, that's I could have seen. I think first round, second round this year, and maybe like a 3rd rounder next year makes a whole lot more sense. That is a lot to give up to take whoever it is that you're wanting to do. And I think it's going to be Travis Hunter. And is Travis Hunter worth it? Possibly, because again, he should theoretically be the number 1 player in the draft. By talent, he should be the number 1 first overall taken player. So Jacksonville is basically going to get the number 1 overall pick for this year's draft. So I guess they got a cheap deal in that regard, just moving up 3 spots, keeping all of their picks except for their 4th rounder, which you never know. That's a hit or that could be hit or miss. So yeah, man, that is kind of wild to me, but we will keep an eye on this development. We got 5 minutes left for Jacksonville to make their pick. Still not official on PFF yet. I look for Jacksonville to probably make this pick pretty quickly. Again, I think it has to be Travis Hunter. That's the only thing that I can see moving up for. Abdul Carter, no offense to the guy, doesn't make sense to move up for in that regard. I think he's a great player. I think he's the best edge rusher in this draft class, but I don't think it makes sense to trade a future first rounder and a 4th rounder to move up for him. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If it was somebody like Hutchinson from a few years ago, that makes a lot of sense to me. I can get behind that, but I don't think it's the same caliber that Bill Carter is with Hutchinson. Could be wrong, but Houston was pretty smart a couple of years ago. They ended up getting C.J. Stroud, and then they traded back into the immediate next pick, got Will Anderson. That has worked out tremendously for them so far. So again, we'll see what ends up happening with the Jaguars here. See if we can go to PFF Live and see if they've got anything for us here. It looks like nothing yet. This thing will update as things happen. Yeah, best player available on the board by basically every metric is Travis Hunter. Here's a question. I don't know if he's going to be playing wide receiver predominantly, or if he's potentially going to be moving up and playing as playing corner most of the time. Chip, I'm not sure what you mean by the mistake. Oh, here we go. Okay. So Jaguars receive 2nd overall. They get a 4th round pick and a 6th round pick. Browns get the 25th. They get the 5th overall. Next year's 2026 first rounder. 2020. So they swap 2025 first and no, they get 2025 second and 4th round. So they swap 4th rounders. Jacksonville gets a 6th rounder. Oh, you traded. Oh, Jacksonville, you traded the first. You traded your first round this year, your first round next year, the second this year, and you moved in the fourth round. So it was a first, a second. Functionally, this was a first, a second, and a first. That's if it works out great, that's a lot. That to move up 3 spots, that's very reminiscent of Chicago doing stupid things many years ago for oh gosh, who'd they take? Who was the stupid quarterback? It's the same year as Patrick Mahomes. I forget who they took. Chicago QB draft bust. What was his name? Mitchell Trubisky. They moved up 1 spot to take Mitchell Trubisky and traded the farm for it, which was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. So, man, when you're trying to think on the fly, it doesn't work out. And it is Travis Hunter. Officially, Travis Hunter. That has been made here by PFF. So Giants are functionally on the board here, but we know for sure it's going to be Travis Hunter. Makes sense. Best player in this year's draft. I think marginally so compared to Abdul Carter. And I think you have Abdul Carter. So Abdul Carter should go to the Giants. Great edge rusher, probably the best in this year's class. He's kind of in a class of his own, and then it's like weird after that. But yeah, the draft has officially begun if you are just now joining us. With pick 3, or pick 2, being traded away, Jacksonville trading away their future for this. Genty, I think, falls to – he does not fall past Las Vegas. I never thought he would go to the Giants. I have been very surprised, obviously, before, and usually by the Falcons, which is never a good thing. But yeah, Roger Goodell's coming out now to make it official, but we pretty much know because we're following all of PFF, and they've called it already for Travis Hunter. Keep you guys updated on when the Giants have made their pick. Whew. Again, I don't know who is on the PFF team that's there at the draft, but they have done incredible with this every single year in making sure that we stay ahead of the pack here. Last year, they did it so much so that it was annoying. Genty, could Genty fall to the Raiders? Yes. I think Genty does not fall past the Raiders. I think it would be insane for him to go that far. Yeah, we're making the official pick, or man of the year here, NFL man of the year, Walter Payton man of the year. I'm going to make this pick, but it's officially going to be Travis Hunter. It's a foregone conclusion here. So, yeah, we'll see what ends up happening here when we get to the Giants. Giants are basically on the clock right now. PFF still does not know who it is, but I expect that to change momentarily. Just in case you're wondering, 75% of PFF people following this do like the pick of Travis Hunter. I am one of them. I think it's a good move for whoever got him. I don't love giving up that much. Thankfully, it's just next year's first rounder and this year's second rounder. That's basically what you did. You gave up your second round this year and your first round next year. And it was probably going to cost that. But if they could have gotten away with maybe just trading away that second and fourth round this year and not doing any sort of trade back, maybe just taking the sixth round pick, not swapping picks in the fourth, that would have been better to me. But they did what they did, and we're where we're at now. So, yeah, officially about to be Travis Hunter. Yep, there it is. Officially Travis Hunter. In the paint suit. So I do like that the NFL draft is going to different places now. I'm waiting for it. I don't know when it's coming to Atlanta, but I would love to see it come to Atlanta sometime. It may. I feel like it's been announced. So let's see here. Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta draft location. I don't know. Let's go with NFL draft. NFL draft location coming. See if we can figure it out. So it's in Pittsburgh next year. I don't know if they've made. I don't know if they've made anything beyond that. So 2026 NFL draft is going to be Pittsburgh for sure. I've got a buddy up there who will probably enjoy that. Speaking of, I probably should text him that information for this live stream, especially now that I'm mentioning here. Oh, dang. Lost the link to the live stream. I have to go in and find that real quick. But yeah, well, it's wild, man. This is really, really freaking wild. Alrighty. Let's see if PFF has given us a New York Giants pick. We got 4 minutes left, a little under 4 minutes left for the Giants pick. Still nothing official on PFF. We're still waiting for that to come out. I do suspect it'll be Abdul Carter. There's very little in my mind that would suggest otherwise to me. Let's see here. So yeah, we're just following along and seeing where we're at. Giants still not on the board, or still on the board. They got 3 minutes left to make their pick. All right, let me look at a little bit of the comments here. It's mostly you, Chip. Appreciate you participating with me, buddy. Can Hunter stay healthy both ways for 17 games? Absolutely not. What they should do is put him in on wide receiver packages. Mixing him in with Brian Thomas Jr. would be incredible. So I think he should mostly play wide receiver. And then you have some corner packages built in for him as a rotational piece. But I don't think it's too difficult. Think about how difficult it is for guys who play purely corner or nickel corner all the time. And they still get the crap beat out of them. They still get beat. And you're playing with guys. So it goes from in Colorado, you didn't have a lot of stiff competition. I'm not going to say you had stiff competition. You had some, but you didn't have stiff competition. So you were playing maybe 2 or 3 guys that were NFL caliber on a weekly basis. And now you're going to every single week playing 11 of those guys on both sides of the ball, or I guess, 11 of those guys on both sides of the ball who are all at that caliber of the best few players that were on any other team. So I do not see him feasibly being able to play all 17 games both ways the full game. Is he going to be used as a wide receiver or as a corner? I don't know which is more likely. But anyways, moving on, guys. Let's jump in real quick. We do officially have word from PFF, and it is Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter, I do like this pick for the Giants. Moving him beside Kayvon Thibodeau, trying to build that defense, which it's a pretty good defense. It just they got to figure out their offense, which I honestly I don't know even who is a quarterback to that. Is that where I feel like that's where Russell landed? New York Giants QB. Is it Russell? Is it Russell Wilson over there? Yeah, Russell Wilson. So, I mean, he'll be okay. No, Russell's going to win you some games, but he's not great. And he kind of showed that this year. But again, official Abdul Carter is going to be taken 3rd overall by the New York Giants. 2nd best player in the draft as far as I'm concerned. Best pure defensive player as far as I'm concerned in the draft. So not a huge surprise in the order for the first 3. Certainly a huge surprise in Jacksonville jumping up to make that trade for pick number 2 overall. So the Giants, though, they are for sure going to take Abdul Carter, which means that we are at the Patriots. And Patriots, this is me. If I'm the Patriots, I am looking to take the best tackle available. I think that makes the most sense. You need to protect your future in Drake May. You absolutely need to protect your future in Drake May. It makes too much sense to do that. So as far as tackles go, You're looking at like Will Campbell or Armand Mimbu out of Missouri. Those are the two guys you're looking at. It wouldn't surprise me if Campbell went here. Again, they also need weapons to throw to. So I could see McMillan at wide receiver being taken here. I don't think you take Genty. Genty really, he's going to struggle with any of these teams that he's going to go to early because none of them have the offensive line to protect him. Cleveland doesn't have a great offensive line. It's kind of mediocre. The Raiders don't have a good offensive line. The Jets really don't have a good offensive line. Carolina is building it, but they're not great. And the Saints, they're probably the best. In the top 9, the Saints are the best offensive line, as much as it hurts me to say it, but the best offensive line, for sure, because of the moves they've made. And I got to say it's mostly because Drew Dalman is there now, shoring up that center position, is the Chicago Bears, who, again, have once again won the offseason. It is official now, by the way. Not that we didn't already know this, but we have Abdul Carter stepping on stage as a New York Giant. Yeah, so we'll see what ends up happening here for them. We've got, again, New England Patriots are on the clock. Let's refresh and see if anything new has happened. Nope. So I'll jump off of it for a second, and we'll come back in a minute and see where we're at. Fix my hair here. Abdul Carter. Looks like the Giants fans are happy, so good for them. What's really strange for me this year, guys, is I have been gearing up for the last 3 years for the Falcons to pick basically in the next 30 minutes. We've gone 7-10 the last 3 seasons leading into this draft. Finally went 8-9 and broke that streak, the most games we've won in 7 seasons, which is wild. And we still didn't make the playoffs because of the losing season because, Kirk Cousins decided he was going to play hurt. Thank you. Appreciate it, Kirk. Thank you for having that elbow injury, tanking our chances for 4 straight games, going 1 for 1 touchdown, 9 interceptions. Yeah, Kirk was awful, historically awful during that run. We had the division in our hand. I think if we play Penix sooner, we do well. But obviously we didn't. So it is what it is. I believed in Kirk Cousins strongly. I liked him a lot. And to the first 9 games, things looked like they were going well. Even going into the Saints game before he took that big hit, he wasn't playing poorly, but you could tell a difference after that. And when he said that he took an injury in that game and played through it, now it's starting to click pretty hard. So anyway, let's jump over. Let's see. Yep, Will Campbell. It is official. Will Campbell. Like I said, that it makes a lot of sense. You got to protect Drake May. So the New York Giants have taken, New York Giants, the New England Patriots are going to take Will Campbell. That makes a lot of sense. I agree with the pick strongly. Take the best tackle available. That's a premium pick for you. You've got to do it. And then now, this is where the draft really gets interesting is, they haven't officially made this pick on the stream yet for the actual show, but we already know it's going to be Will Campbell. What do the Cleveland Browns do? What are they going to do? I have no clue what Cleveland's going to do. I think it's absolutely insane that they traded back, but they got a haul for it. They got an early day 2 pick. Think about this. They're already picking in like the top 5 of day 2. Now they're picking 2 picks in the top of round 2. So still some guys who are probably first round talent. Shedeur Sanders, could they do something stupid and take Shedeur here? Yeah, now they've got the capital to do that. They can come back and say, hey, we can take Shedeur now because we have 2 early second-round picks. We have 3 picks total in the top 40, so we can absolutely do that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. This is where I'm waiting on with bated breath on hook here to see what they do. This is absolutely – the Browns pick here is the most interesting pick for the top 10, in my opinion. And if Shedeur does not go here, and I don't think he should, I would not do that if I were them. I would probably – so you have Will Campbell coming off the board. I don't think I'd take Mimbu. I don't think I'd drop back and take a tackle here, but just looking at – I'm probably looking at – do they need defensive interior? Not really. I'm thinking, honestly, McMillan or potentially, yeah, McMillan. Will Johnson would be a very Browns pick to take it, pick 5 overall. So, yeah, that would be insane, but I could definitely see it happening. We are on a commercial break here for the actual draft, so thumbs up. Oh, gosh. Love this water. It's my favorite water from Kroger. Ugh. And then a little Coke Zero because it's caffeine. You're up at 5 a.m. every day. It kind of sucks to stay up this late, but here's what it is. All right. Thank you for the two of you who have stayed on with me so far. Appreciate you guys. I think we'll have some more people coming in and as we get closer to the Falcons pick. It makes a lot of sense that we wouldn't have a ton of engagement right now, but we'll see where we get to. Last year, I think I topped out at about 13. I did not make nearly as big of a deal of it this year, so I don't think I'll get that kind of engagement. Again, the team has hurt me tremendously. They have hurt my spirit tremendously over the last 7 years of being a season ticket holder. Now 8. I signed up for one more year of pain. This will be my last year as a season ticket holder, though. In all likelihood, very likely, unless I'm still in the Atlanta area, I will very likely not be in a location that's close enough to continue with being a season ticket holder, and it makes sense. It's just too expensive. It's not awful, but we paid off our PSL this year, which is a big thing. Didn't realize that they were charging us massive amounts of interest on that. If I'd known that, I would have paid it off years ago. But it is what it is. So let's see here. Oh, yeah. So we got the New England Patriots officially are going to take Will Campbell. I don't think that selection's been made on TV yet. It's kind of hard to keep up with everything here. Yeah, Browns are on the clock for PFF, so I imagine we'll get a pretty quick. They're coming back now. I imagine we'll get a pretty quick cut to the New England Patriots taking Will Campbell. And now the draft really, truly begins. It began at pick 2 with the trade. Well, we all pretty much knew who it was going to be. You were almost guaranteed to have this first 3 or 4 picks. It made a lot of sense for these other teams to take Hunter and Ward and Carter, and then finally get a tackle coming off the board at 4 overall. I think that's a great move. Oh, that's incredible. They got people in Lambeau Field like watching this on the live stream or watching it on the screen. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. So Green Bay is like one of those cities and one of those towns I feel like it's just, it's a mecca for NFL. It's an original city. You will not find an NFL team in a city like that anymore. So, yeah, I think it's a great city. Tom Grassi is moving up there. It's a guy that I have a lot of respect for. Definitely a place I would love to go catch the Falcons play sometime. I would love to catch any game there. I think it would be incredible to get to go to Lambeau. Probably a little old, probably needs some renovations compared to, the Falcons Stadium. I'm sure it's nowhere near as nice in terms of, the modern amenities, but there's something to be said for the history there. I do think that means a lot for the NFL in general. Let's jump back over. All right, so the Cleveland Browns have officially made a pick. Does anyone want a drum roll for this one? Does anyone want me to go ahead and swap over? I'll tell you, it's a smart pick. That's what I'll tell you about it. It is definitely a smart pick for the Browns. Makes a lot of sense for them. Yeah, definitely, Chase. That is it. So let's jump over. They have officially taken a guy that I think is also very good. The guy who is on the PFF big board at number 5 overall. They have taken Mason Graham. Mason Graham, the defensive interior, is going to be a Cleveland Brown. So good for him. As far as guys that I would want for Dynasty, so it's going to be Mason Graham. We know that for sure. PFF has not been wrong so far. I think this right here, this pick could absolutely, with the Raiders coming up after this, Raiders absolutely are the spot that I think Genty falls to. If Genty doesn't go here to the Raiders, then I think you're looking at probably the Saints or Chicago. Either one of these two teams make a lot of sense to me. Panthers don't make a lot of sense. They got the kid from Texas last year who was hurt all year. And then I forget who else they have, but they're happy with their running back room. The Jets could move on from Breece Hall. He's had some health issues. I don't want him to do that because I've got Breece in fantasy. I still think he's a great running back overall. So I don't want him to do that. But anyways, yeah, so Cleveland is going to pick Mason Graham, but Genty, I think, could go to the Raiders. I think that would be a great pick. I think McMillan or Genty to the Raiders would be a great pick for either team. And then likewise, Genty to the Saints would be awful. I would hate every minute of that because I think he's that good of a running back. I don't want to play him twice a year. But I could see it. Don't love it, but could certainly see it. Yeah, so I would not want that to happen for any reason whatsoever. Let's see here. But yeah, we're looking right now. Still waiting for the Raiders to make their pick. But yeah, Mason Graham is going to be the official pick for the Cleveland Browns. We are officially 50 minutes into my live stream, which means we're about 40 minutes into the draft. And going about like I expected. A little bit sluggish here. We are 10 picks away from the Falcons, unless they trade, which I kind of hope they do. Speaking of, we probably should start fixing our banners here. Let's go hide that real quick. I've been meaning to do this whole time, and there's too much happening, guys. Way too much happening here. So we got Cam Ward. We've got you got Travis, Hunter, Giants took Abdul Carter, Patriots took Will Campbell, Jaguars took Mason Graham. I should probably I should change that out. That was Cleveland. That was actually the Jacksonville Jaguars. They traded. And then you have I said that wrong. I just said it as I was writing, and I haven't changed this out. So no wonder I'm losing people, except for the fact that nobody cares. But anyways, Cleveland Browns. Yeah, the Browns are going to be taking Mason Graham. Again, I think that's a very solid pick. Very, very solid pick for these guys. Yeah, their war room, they look very happy about it. They should be. This is a solid move. Now, here's the question you got to ask yourself if you're the Browns. They pick up an extra first-round pick next year. It's probably going to be a top 20 pick, I would guess. Jacksonville could surprise us and be good, but it's probably going to be a decent pick. So what do they do? Do we think the Cleveland Browns are going to be difference makers with Mason Graham? And I don't think so. I think they're still looking at tanking and being bad for another year. And then we'll see what happens after that. All right, guys. So, we're about one pick ahead of where the draft actually is. We know for sure Mason Graham's have been taken. It just was announced on the draft. But I was absolutely right in my prediction. And the Raiders are taking Ashton Genty at 6 overall. I didn't think he would last past 6. I love this pick for the Raiders. I do think they need to beef up their offensive line again because look at Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell at Pittsburgh was as good as he was because they had a top 5 offensive line. Le'Veon Bell goes to the New York Giants, instant awful. So that just speaks to how important the offensive line is, particularly with running the ball. Look at the Falcons, Bijan Robinson. You had Drew Dahlman being an incredible run-blocking center, and then you have our right tackle McGarry being a great run blocking tackle. When they were hurt this year, you had Newsel and Storm Norton kind of taking over that position. You lost a lot of the run game. Newsel was perfectly fine as a pass blocker, but we didn't have the same explosiveness with him when we were talking about the run game. And this is going to be a year we really need to lean on the run game to take pressure off of Michael Penix Jr. That's going to be a must for us this year. But anyways, yeah, if you did not see it yet officially, it is Ashton Jeanty coming up next for the Raiders. I know I'm a little bit ahead. PFF is ahead on this one, so we'll jump back. I do like Mason Graham for the Browns. It's not what I would say. The Browns have played this as well as they possibly could have. The only question I have for the Browns, you pick up an extra first-round pick next year, you're probably still going to be picking top 20 on both of these. You're not going to be the best team in the division. There's no world where you are the best team in your division. I don't think there's a world where you make the playoffs next year. And I don't think the Jaguars are going to make the playoffs either, if I'm being honest. So these are two picks that are going to be possibly top 15 picks. So you pick up you have two top 15 picks. You get a second rounder in addition to your early second rounder this year. But you miss out on Travis Hunter. Is Travis Hunter that good? Is he that impactful? I don't know the answer to that question. Only time is going to tell. But certainly, they're picking up draft picks. Historically, you would say pick up as many draft picks as you can, and that's the better play. And let's go ahead and update this so I don't get too far behind in forgetting. Let's update the banner here. We've got I'm going to go ahead and it's done. It's a done deal. Ashton Jeanty is for sure going to the Raiders. So, yeah, the Raiders have not, I think they're a little bit behind here. It's already been called in. We know who it's going to be. There's insiders everywhere on these picks, so we already know what's happening. Now we're waiting. Honestly, we're officially waiting on the Jets. That's what we're actually officially waiting on. What a dumpster fire they are. Honestly, the most Jets pick I could imagine at this point would be Shadur Sanders. They're going to be rocking Justin Fields this year. I don't love that for them. I think they'd be better off with Kirk Cousins. I don't think he would be better off there, but I think they'd be better off with Kirk Cousins. They're not going to do that because they just got out of the Aaron Rodgers game. Rodgers holding everybody hostage. What a freaking moron that guy is. If he played football now, as good as he made wild statements, Aaron Rodgers would be like the undisputed permanent MVP forever. Like, that dude is wild. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. The Jets do need a whole new team. I feel bad saying that. The Jets have been bad for a very long time. The Falcons have been bad for a while. Jets have been bad for more than a decade. They have been bad. Let's go back and look. I actually can't recall the last time the Jets had a winning season. Jets football record by year. List of Jet seasons. This should be interesting. When do we have to go back to? You got to go back to 2015 to see a winning record for them. So, I mean, it's getting close. The Falcons can't say a whole lot. We haven't had a winning record since 2017, but 10-6 was the last winning record. They finished second in their division. Did they make the playoffs? I don't know if they made the playoffs. I got to look and see what this means for making the playoffs. Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs. I knew they had the longest playoff draft. Yeah, or playoff drop. Yeah, they haven't made the playoffs since 2010. They haven't won their division since 2002. That's wild. That is really wild. That's got to be the longest by a landslide. The Falcons have won the division. The Carolina Panthers have won the division. I can recall all of the teams in the South winning the division in the last decade to 12 years or so. If you go back and think about it, you had Drew Brees leading the Saints. You had Cam Newton at one point leading the Panthers. The glory days of Matt Ryan and the Falcons, and then you had Tampa Bay who would sneak in periodically, and with Tom Brady in the recent era and Baker Mayfield in the recent era have done well with it. So yeah, we'll see. Let's jump on here and see if we have a pick in. The pick is in officially. It is Armand Mimbu. Jets are again. I can't fault this pick. Jets are taking a tackle. That's a solid pick. He's the second best tackle in the draft. It's a premium position. They need an offensive line to protect Justin Fields or whoever ends up back there. I can't fault him. It's going to be a good pick. I know we're about to pick ahead here. If you're watching the NFL draft live somewhere, I know I'm about to pick ahead. PFF has always done this, and they've always been right. I've never known them to not be right. So, this is great. I would not say that a team other than the Titans have made a bad move. And I get, I understand taking Cam Moore. I understand taking him number one overall. I really do. You're trying to win now. You're trying to save jobs, and you're trying to save things. You're trying to do something to spark. But I agree. I don't even agree with the above average for this pick. I don't even agree with above average. I think this was just average. And not even average. I think it's below average. For picking number one overall, I think it's below average. I don't think Cam Ward is worth that pick. To be fair, I didn't think that Jared Goff was either, and he was not worth that pick. It was Sean McVay. He was worth that pick when he got traded and went to Ben Johnson's offense. We'll see what they do this year. I don't know if the Lions are going to be that good. We'll see how much it's Ben Johnson and how much it's just the fact they've got that much talent. Ben Johnson going, all the way over to Ben Johnson now going to the Chicago Bears to be their head coach. So let's just kind of see how PFF ranks this. Travis Hunter, elite. I like it. Abdul Carter, elite. Yes. Will Campbell. I mean, I guess very good is next to elite. I guess you got to do that. I guess the only two elite players I think in this draft are Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. But I disagree. They're just calling the Ashton Jeanty pick good. I do think it's an elite pick. I like it for them. I like that pick a lot. Mimbu, I think, is a very good pick. I don't think it's going to be an elite pick, but I think it should be very good. But I do think this Ashton Jeanty pick should be elite. I disagree with them calling it good. I mean, I guess they're doing it because they think that they need something better. I guess I think they need, other positions more, but do what you got to do here, man. This is Ashton Jeanty. It's about the Falcons taking Bijan Robinson a couple of years ago. Take best player on the board. The rest will work itself out. So, I mean, Carolina's on the board now, and Carolina's on the clock. Officially, it is still the Jets' pick because we have not heard Mimbu coming off the line yet, or sorry, off the back room yet. But he's going to. It's not really a question. It's going to happen. Yeah, I agree. Bad Gamer Society, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you joining us. Yeah, I agree. Jeanty and Bowers, along with Geno Smith, is deadly. I do think they need offensive line help. Bowers is much better as a receiving option than he is as a blocker. Yeah, I'm a Georgia guy, so I got a chance to watch Brock Bowers through all of college, and I said from his freshman year he was the next Travis Kelce. Like, he's as good, if not better, than Travis Kelce at his best. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, there will be some tackles available. It's not a very deep tackle class this year. So you've got like a couple of really good guys in Mimbu and Will Campbell. I hope it's Mimbu. I hope that's how you say it. But Will Campbell. After that, it's a little thin. I think Tyler Warren is like the next guy that may be on the board that's available at tackle that's good. I got to look at that and see. I don't have a list active here. I said it wrong. Maybe it's not him. Sorry, I'm thinking wrong position. Yeah, no, it drops. Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons is the next. Got the wrong kind of tackle on my brain. Got defensive tackle on my brain. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, Tyler Warren. Sorry, tight end. Tight end. I've got the wrong players on my brain right now. But yeah, it's not a very deep tackle class this year. So not like years past where you've had 4 guys go in the top 15. So I don't think we'll see that this year. And certainly you can pick up some guys to develop on day 2 in this draft. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Carolina, this is an interesting pick for to me. Again, did I think the Jets were going to make a smart pick here? Nope. And obviously, they're on a commercial break right now. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but I'm seeing Peyton Manning doing some sort of commercial. But I do like Mimbo. I think that he's really, really good. I remember having to play against him, UGA playing against him and against Missouri. Not this year, but the year before. So very, very good tackle, big dude. Big dude. So, yeah, look at his PFF stats. We played him last year. He was pretty good last year. He's a lot better this year just by their by their stats. So, yeah, he's still great. He's going to be a good player this year. Even against Alabama, which I would say is one of their tougher games, he played really, really well. So let's jump back over and see. Carolina still doesn't have it. I'll jump back over to just me for a minute here. Jalen Walker is on the board. Yes, Jalen Walker is on the board. He is a guy that I would love to get. If he's there when the Falcons are picking, I would love to get him. Don't think we're going to. I do think the Falcons are looking hard at Mike Green. I think that's the pick for the Falcons, if I'm being honest, if we don't trade. Jets have officially put their pick in. We already know it's going to be Mimbu. Mimbu. Again, I have no audio for the draft, so I can't actually hear what they're saying. I'm pronouncing it. Yeah, just looking back at some more comments here. Raiders aren't one draft. Yeah, I know a lot of teams are not. Falcons included in this. Falcons are not a one draft pick. So let's see. We'll see. Panthers might do it. They might do that. I'm going to go ahead and make the switch over on our banner. A moment and do Armand Mimbo. Where are we at here? Armand Mimbo. Go ahead and save that and bring it back up. All right, and let's see here. Panthers still have not made the pick. It's not official yet. Panthers have about 2 minutes in real time to make that selection. No, we do not. We do not draft Bulldogs. I don't know why. It's worked out beautifully for Philadelphia. Because then, do we know who it is? Is PFF behind on this one? PFF is behind. We still don't know. PFF has not announced it yet, but we'll see. They're usually ahead. This is kind of a surprise. See what ends up happening here. Will Johnson, I'm just looking at the screen for the draft itself. I do think Will Johnson is one of the better players still available at corner. Anybody that needs one, that's a pick that the Falcons could go with if some of our edge rusher preferences are already off the board at that point in time. Oh, pick is in. It is McMillan. McMillan, the wide receiver. We're going to have to play against McMillan twice a year, and this makes a lot of sense. I thought they needed a wide receiver. They don't have one. They don't have a wide receiver on that team that has any danger whatsoever. You need a target for Bryce Young. He is, if you're saying that Travis Hunter is going to be more of a corner, he's the best receiver in the draft. If you say that Travis Hunter is going to be more of a receiver, he's the second best by a close margin. So this makes a lot of sense for the Panthers. They're going to go with I'm going to have to know how to say this guy's first name at some point. McMillan. Easier to say that, but it is going to be McMillan. Absolutely helping Bryce out. Yeah, so makes a lot of sense. They do need an offensive line. They need help in a lot of positions, but again, this does make sense. You got to give somebody a weapon sometimes too. So McMillan's a solid pick. He didn't have a lot of great competition this past year, but yeah, a receiver for Bryce. And Chip, I know you love Bryce. He's your boy from back in his Alabama days. He needs some help. Obviously they found a way to beat the Falcons at the end of the year. That was a little bittersweet for you. It was definitely bittersweet for me because it meant that we ended up not having a winning season for 7 years in a row. And now I'm fully expecting us to not have a winning season this year, 8 years in a row, just because we're We're cap poor. I don't think we've added significant talent yet. We're going to have to see. Again, the draft is the wild card here. We'll see what we end up doing. Falcons are officially let's hear it. I know Panthers haven't officially made that pick yet, but it's McMillan. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks away. We're halfway through the part of the draft that I care about so far. I cannot guarantee that I'll stay on for the entirety of the draft after the Falcons pick. I will talk a little bit about whatever they do. I'm not going to lie. Nothing would make me happier than being forced to stay on until, say, I don't know, maybe about pick 25, maybe trading back, getting a first and second rounder, plus some sort of day 2 or 3 pick for next year with the Texans. Texans have historically been movers and shakers in the draft. Could they move up and potentially get a tackle that they desperately need? Or could they do something? Could they be seeing all these teams that are going to possibly be taking the things that they need and moving up with us? Because I think the Falcons at this point, the guys that I think are still going to be available that would be good at like about 21 to 25, we still need an edge rusher. That's our biggest need by far and away. And I think you could potentially be looking at your James Pierce Jr.'s. Again, he's got a little bit of character deficit. That's going to be his main problem, is the character issues. I don't know what that's about, but it seems like he has fallen dramatically in the draft because of that. And then Donovan Ezeraku out of Boston College is another one. If he was available, I would pick him over James Pierce Jr. I don't know that he will be, though, because, again, right now you're looking at the top 3 remaining edge rushers that are potential first-round guys here. You're looking at Ezeraku, James Pierce Jr., and Mike Green. We'll see if Michael Williams from the Falcons, if he ends up being a late day 2 guy or day 1 guy. He's a guy that is a project edge. I don't know that he is immediately good, but he will be good long term. I think one of the more interesting picks that's left to happen here is Malachi Starks. I don't know what's going to happen with him from Georgia. Safety is usually not a pick that's made high, but he's been a solid player for a long time. Jalen Walker is another guy that's out there. Again, he's not got the best grade in the world, but I think he is very good and should be a top 15 pick. Let's scroll back up and see if we have a pick for the New Orleans Aints. Not the Saints, the Aints. We do not have that yet. So let me jump off of it here. We'll come back, build a little suspense for it. But the Panthers pick, we know they're taking McMillan. Best available. What the hell is Mill talking about? Shedeur Sanders is not the best available. Not even remotely. Shedeur Sanders should be a day 2 pick. Like, Cam Ward should be a day 2 pick. Shedeur Sanders should be a day 2 pick. He's probably – now, what I can see, this is something I can definitely see happening with Cleveland. They have 2 early day 2 picks now. Cleveland certainly could trade back in at the very, very end with both of those early second-round picks and trade with a team that's picking towards the end, say like your Buffalo or your Buffalo, your Kansas City, your Eagles, and go ahead and get Shedeur in the first round, and not because Shedeur is good. I don't think Shedeur is that good at all. I think he needs to sit behind somebody, but they could get him because then they can exercise his 5th-year option, which is a big deal. So, yeah. Tetaroa McMillan. I'm going to have to – I may be back and forth for a second trying to spell this thing. Thankfully, it's up on the screen here for me so I can actually maybe spell it out. I have no idea how to say this guy's first name. Bless me. Excuse me, guys. Woo! Doing it live. All right. There we go. I think I spelled it right. If not, it is what it is. We're not going back. Not going to update it. Saints they have 3 minutes left to pick, but still not officially in on the PFF board here. It says the Saints need a running back, a wide receiver, a defensive interior, and an edge rusher. I agree with all of those things. Who do I think would be the best player for them to take right here? Walter Nolan would probably be the best player, the Ole Miss defensive interior. I think that would be the best player. Could they do something like, say, take Shooter Sanders? They certainly could. Oh, that pick is in. Let's see what they do. What are the Saints going to do? Okay. The Saints have elected to do something interesting here. No, they did not take Dart. The Saints are making a semi safe pick. I don't know that I love it, but they're going to go with Kelvin Banks Jr., tackle out of Texas. PFF has him ranked 22 overall. I know he's a guy. I think it's a little bit of a reach for 9. I think the Saints would have liked it. Your Saints fans are not going to like this. They're going to want to have traded back for this. They'll be okay with it. They're going to want to have traded back to make this pick. They're going to want to have traded back with, say, Chicago or Dallas to make this pick. Yeah, I don't love it for them. I don't hate it either. It's a pick that was made. That's about as good as I can say for him. I think Josh Simmons is probably a better tackle, but he's going to go somewhere else now. So the Chicago Bears, yeah, we'll get to them in a second. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I can see. I agree. I think it's a reach, but I understand the move. Again, you got to pick for position. You got to pick for a lot of different things here. I don't love that for them. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not loving the Saints pick. That actually doesn't bother me that they made what I think is a reachy pick because I don't like the Saints at all. So yeah, Saints, you guys are getting Kelvin Banks Jr., a offensive tackle. May he be a guy that you regret drafting this early. I hope he actually, for his sake, I hope he has a good career. I don't ever really wish anybody bad, even though he plays for the Saints. If he were to go to any other team, I would be happy enough for him. I think he's a nice guy, probably. But, yeah, when it's kind of one of those things. It was about like Tim Tebow. I like Tim Tebow as a person. Every time he put on a Florida Gators uniform, I wanted him to break both of his kneecaps. I cannot stand the Florida Gators. I cannot stand the New Orleans Saints. So it's kind of one of those things. Do I really want that to happen? No, I do not really want that to happen. I don't wish ill on anyone. But it's one of those things where I don't like the Gators. I don't like the Saints. So it is what it is. Yes, Chip, I agree. I hope he's a super bust as well. So we'll see. The Bears are going to be on the clock. The Saints pick is officially in. Bears are going to be on the clock here in just a moment. I guess they are officially on the clock here, but it's just not shown on the ticker up there. Longest active drought since drafting first round. I don't know. First round QB. Saints haven't drafted a QB in the first round since 1971. That's impressive. Cowboys have not done since Troy Aikman. Again, great draft for them. All right, New Orleans Saints people. Again, you're taking Kelvin Banks Jr. here. We know that already. Yeah, again, I think the mood in that room kind of says it. You don't see a lot of people jumping around for joy and excited. You don't see it like it was with Cam Ward. You don't see it like it was with Travis Hunter. You've got a lot of guys who are not very happy. Shedeur, let's see, what did you say? Shedeur stopping out. Yeah, so Shedeur, at this point, let's honestly look at the teams. Nobody needs to worry about trading up for Shedeur. The only thing I could see Shedeur being a Cleveland Brown, but only because Cleveland trades both of their second round pick and their acquired second round pick to move back up into the first to take him at the tail end. And again, that being with like the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, or the Eagles. Right now, they could trade pick 33 and 36, which are who the heck cares? If you're picking 30th to 33rd, who the heck cares? The only difference there is you lose a fifth-year option. And if you get the 36th pick along with it, you get 2 picks in the first 4 on day 2. That's an incredible value. So, yeah. He won't play for Cleveland. I mean, he might not play for Cleveland, but I mean, he might get drafted by Cleveland. We'll see. Pittsburgh is, Chip. So that's what you're hinting at, is that Pittsburgh is the next team that probably would be likely to draft him. And I think that's reasonable. I think that would be the most ideal situation for Shedeur, would be to learn under Mike Tomlin, to be under his tutelage. That would make the most sense to me in terms of what would be good for him. All right, we do have another pick in. Wow, Chicago. Chicago has done a thing. I did not expect this at all. I thought that we would see the first tight end off the board being somebody different. The Chicago Bears have taken Colston Loveland here. I mean, he's good. I don't like that pick at all, though. If you're going to take a tight end, why are you not taking Tyler Warren? Like, what the heck? Not even the first tight end off the board. Oh, man, I'm not watching Tom Grassi's stream, but I would love to be a fly on the wall of his stream when he realizes what they're doing. Wow. Colston Loveland is going to be a Chicago Bear. Wow. Okay. Hey, it's a thing that happened. Colston Loveland. It's going to be a Bear. Wow. Okay. We're back up with the ticker here. Again, solid tight end. Is he a guy that I would have taken there? Probably not. I do feel like Tyler Warren is the better of the two guys there. But yeah, that's what they're doing. Wow. Yeah, Bears do still suck. Clint, let's hear. Yeah, Bears still suck. I agree. Bears still suck on this one. I'm great at offseason moves. Oh, do we have another pick in? Oh, dang. I missed this. Michael Williams going to San Francisco. I missed that altogether. Holy crap. Okay, we got another pick back-to-back here, another confirmed pick. Got to add that onto the board, baby. Add that onto the board. Michael Williams, that is a good pick for the 49ers. Michael Williams. Now, again, is he the best player from Georgia? Not necessarily. It's a decent pick. I thought Jalen Walker was better than him. Wow. Okay. Now the draft's getting a little interesting here. So again, we know the next two picks here. Wow, Michael Williams coming in. That's wild. I know that Hulu hasn't announced the Bears yet, but again, I'm following along with PFF. PFF they basically have been a pick ahead for the most part here for a while, so that's wild. Yeah, so Dallas is on the clock, or will be. I guess they're not officially on the clock. They're on the PFF clock, but hopefully PFF slows that down. I'm going to have to give you guys a little something to wait for a little bit here. Dang. So, yeah, of course the Green Bay Packers fans are all booing the Chicago Bears. Just a question for any of you guys out there. We don't have that many people following along here, but what do you guys think? For me, obviously the Falcons and Saints are like one of the best rivalries in the NFL, just because there's so much hate between those two teams. What do you guys think are some of the best rivalries in the NFL? I think it's hard to argue against Green Bay with any other division rival in the NFC North. Specifically Green Bay. I think they are the centerpiece of that division, and I think that they are the main the main antagonist for most of these teams. They're the main antagonist to the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions, and have been for a long time because of how good their quarterback play has been. So I do think that they're the villains there. But so I think you have three really good rivalries there. But like any others that you guys in the stream can think of, I don't really feel like anything in the AFC South is worth talking about in that regard. If you ask, the Buffalo Bills, they would say that the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots are one of the best rivalries ever, or the Jets and the New England Patriots. So that hasn't been much of a rivalry in a long time here. Miami has some interesting rivalries. I don't know. I just don't think of the AFC East when I'm thinking about rivalries. Cowboys, Giants. Yeah, I would say Giants, Eagles is a big one there too. I felt like Washington has kind of fallen by the wayside since they weren't the Redskins anymore. I feel like that one's kind of fallen by the wayside there. But I would agree. Eagles and Cowboys, I would say that's a really big rivalry. And Chip, you would know all about that one because your dad is a Cowboys fan. So Eagles, Cowboys, and Cowboys, Giants, and the Eagles, Giants. I think those three teams kind of you could go back and forth with any of them. The NFC South, it's just the Falcons and the Saints. We don't care about Carolina. We don't care about Tampa Bay, though more recently Tampa Bay has kind of been the villain of that story. Ravens, Steelers, I agree. Ravens, Steelers is a good one. Steelers with, I think, anybody in the division. Steelers, to me, are the villain of their division. So Steelers with almost any of those teams. I would say Steelers, Browns because of some of the bad blood there. Think about the Myles Garrett basically trying to, I think it was Mason Rudolph that he tried to smash the skull with a helmet. So yeah, any of the AFC North teams I feel like could have a solid rivalry with each other. The rivalry I think is the weakest in the AFC, but may have the best quarterback plays. Actually, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. I guess it's been more competitive recently, but historically, I don't feel like that's been like the best pick or the best one in the world. Trying to think of other divisions here. AFC West and NFC West. NFC West has the Seahawks and 49ers. I would say that's been a huge rivalry for a long time. Then AFC West, I would say the biggest one to me there is going to be Kansas City, Denver. Without a doubt, Kansas City, Denver there. And I know the Raiders hate pretty much everybody in that division, but to me, Kansas City, Denver makes the most sense. So I'd say there's probably, I don't know if we made it through all the divisions there, but there's like 12 really good rivalries that I think we just went through and named right off the top, but I don't know how good a lot of these others are. Anyways, Colston Loveland, officially the pick from Michigan for Chicago. And again, we are a pick ahead right now. Now officially one pick ahead. We already know, for those of you joining, thank you for this fourth person. I don't know who you are, but thank you for joining us. Feel free to like and subscribe. We got Michael Williams, Georgia Bulldog. First Georgia Bulldog off the board. Surprising Georgia Bulldog. First Georgia Bulldog to come off the board. A guy who I thought was going to go towards the end of the first round, going to San Francisco. I mean, I like any Georgia Bulldog going anywhere. I do think it's a little bit of a reach, especially with Jalen Walker still on the board. The Falcons are – oh, God. How are the Falcons going to falcon? That's what I really want to know. How are we going to falcon this? We're gonna be teed up for anything we want at this point. And how are we going to falcon it? Yeah, we probably are going to pass on Walker. I think Mike Green has a higher grade overall by a lot of people right now, but Jalen Walker would be like one of my favorite picks as well. I would be happy. Mike Green or Jalen Walker, I'd be happy with either of them at this point. So, yeah, but how are we going to falcon this? How are we going to screw this up? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure it's going to happen. There's no way we don't find some stupid way to screw this up. Now, the thing, again, let's jump back into this. The best thing that we could possibly do would be to trade back with a team like Pittsburgh or a team like we'll jump into it. Let's jump on and look real quick. I don't think Dallas yet. Dallas has not made the move yet. But jumping back, so we're picking at 15 here. The best move we can make would be to trade back with, say, let's see what some of these teams need. Trade back with like Seattle, or not even Seattle. Let's just say trade back with the Steelers. Let them go get Shedeur. Or Malachi Starks, even. If Malachi Starks is still on the board, they need a safety. Let them move up to 15 and get their guy. And then we take the best of Ezraku, Jalen Walker, Mike Green, and even James Pierce Jr. at edge rusher at 21 overall. I think that would be the best thing. Pick up another day 2 pick. Again, because this is the big thing with the Falcons. We have only got 3 meaningful picks this year, and that's a big problem because, again, we had the Matthew Judon trade, which I can't fault them at the time for making that move. I was happy with the move as a guy who has historically had 10-sack seasons every year, coming off of an injury, an upper body injury, didn't really know how impactful that was going to be. Turns out it was incredibly impactful, so it really sucked. He did not have the impact that we wanted him to last year and not worth a third-round pick. Then you have the Kirk Cousins tampering charge, which now is completely and totally allowed. So, we lost a pick for truly no reason now in a 5th rounder, which can still be a starter. Go back and look at Grady Jarrett. I believe he was a 5th-round pick. You got Drew Dahlman, who was a 4th rounder. We still have that pick. But you have had some impactful players. I'm trying to remember – I think Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier was a 5th-round pick. So you had some meaningful guys that have been part of our team that have come on those kind of early day 3, kind of late day 2 picks. You've had guys there, and we don't have the 3rd-round pick, and we don't have a 5th-round pick. So we have a 1st, a 2nd, and a 4th. And then we have 2 7th-round picks, which are, pardon my French, but who gives a shit? So nobody cares about your 7th-round picks. If they make the roster, great. You had, he was our safety. He got hurt. DeMarco Hellams turned out to be a gem last year. I think we were counting on him to be good, which is part of the problem. We were counting on him too much, and then he got hurt in the first preseason game. It's a reason that I thought we didn't play many starters going forward. But anyways, 49ers, they are – we know who they're taking. Let's see if the Cowboys have made a pick. Cowboys are still on the clock and not officially made a pick. But, Michael Williams officially going in. PFF calls it average. I would call it a little below average just for where you're picking at. He's fine. He's probably a late 1st-round drafter, but I don't love that he took him there. Same thing with Colston Loveland. That's the guy that I think you missed out on Tyler Warren for. So, which of these teams need a tight end? Tyler Warren could very easily be the next Colt just looking at this. But, we'll see. See what we got coming up here. Cowboys' son made the pick. We'll give it a little bit more mystery here and let you guys kind of guess at it. We'll see if they end up making that official here. But, officially pick is in. You're coming out to announce it, so we're kind of caught up again with the drafts here. Cowboys need a running back, a wide receiver, a guard, a center, and an edge rusher. So this could be an edge coming off the board. You may have that run on edges right now, which would not be good for the Falcons because technically the Colts also need an edge rusher. We do not need a run on edge rushers happening. We need a run on wide receivers happening. That would be perfectly fine. Let's get a wide receiver run here, though. Obviously, Miami, if they're keeping Tyreek, are not going to go for wide receiver. Oh, gosh, who's their number 2? It's escaping. Waddle. Yeah, they're not going to be taking a wide receiver. They have no need this early in the draft. Colts could potentially take a wide receiver. They don't have a lot of talent there, so they could take something like that. Malachi Starks could be a guy that goes to the Colts. Just trying to think logically about who's available and who's still really good. Defensive interior is something that the Dolphins really could use. They were awful. I think I'm trying to remember what they were awful against last year. But Walter Nolan could be a guy that I could see going to the Dolphins if he's not going to the Dallas Cowboys here. Up, Dallas Cowboys. The pick is in. Pick is in for the Dallas Cowboys. Ooh. Chip, you're going to be really happy with this. My Alabama buddy, you are going to be very, very happy with this pick. Let me put it in here, and then I will show you guys who the Dallas Cowboys are going with here. Yeah, Chipper, you're going to be super, super happy with this. You're my Alabama guy. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have Tyler Booker Alabama guard, the number one guard on the board, going in to replace, oh gosh, who was it? Was it Smith that just retired? Going in to replace some of the depleting offensive line for the Cowboys. That's kind of wild. I didn't really think that they were going to. I didn't think this is a guy that would go this early. I thought he would be maybe a late day one, early day two guy. But I don't love this pick for him. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. He's the number one guard on the board. It's a weak draft class overall for offensive linemen here. I'm going to say I don't like this pick that much. Michael Williams, I don't love the pick for the value you got for him. I don't love a lot of these these picks here. Not just, and again, these are probably not bad players. I don't think any of these players are bad so far. They must have interviewed really well, because I don't think they were talented enough to be taken this early. And they're probably going to prove me wrong. A lot of them are, but we'll see. But yeah, Miami is officially on the board as the pick for Dallas is in. And we already know who it's going to be. It's going to be Tyler Booker. So yeah, Chip, you should be thrilled with that. Yeah, offensive line, they do that a lot. Yep, they do. They certainly do. And honestly, that's what Dallas needs to get back to. Back when they had, was it Tyler Smith? Is that who they took that just retired? Tyler Smith. Dallas Cowboys. Didn't he I think Tyler Smith just retired. I want to say he just retired. Maybe not. No, Tyler Smith. I'm thinking of somebody different. They took Tyler Smith a couple of years ago. I got to look up the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. I just got to look this up because I'm trying to remember. I'm taking Guyton. I remember that. Tyler Smith. Who just retired? Tyron Smith and Zach Martin both retired. That's it. I knew there was a Smith in there. Tyron Smith just retired, and then Zach Martin. So yeah, you did have to replace these guys. Yeah, I don't love that for them for where they've taken them, but yeah, man, it's officially at Tyler Booker. They didn't waste any time. So we're caught up now. Miami on the board, or rather on the clock. So we'll see what we get here. Miami's team needs to protect Tua. Definitely need to protect Tua. That's the most important thing that they could do here. So if they were going to take somebody, this is a great spot. If they're looking to protect him, they could take Josh Simmons here from Ohio State. That would make a ton of sense to me. Other things that they could do, defensive interior. Walter Nolan's still out there from Ole Miss. He's a guy that very well could go here. They need a corner. Will Johnson, best corner on the board right now. This is a perfectly reasonable spot for him to go. They need all of the offensive line. I don't think there's a center that's worth taking this early. And again, Josh Simmons makes a lot of sense here. Walter Nolan makes a lot of sense here. Will Johnson makes a lot of sense here. I think Miami Dolphins fans would be happy with any of those guys. So we'll see what they end up doing here. The pick is not officially in yet for the Dolphins. They have 6.5 or a little over 6.5 minutes here on the stream to actually make the pick. But we'll see what they end up doing. And just like that, y'all, into the Coke Zero, into my caffeine hit for the night. Don't need any more because I'm going to have to go to bed at some point. This is one thing that kind of sucks about my job. I do have to be up kind of early. Got to go save lives first thing in the morning, be in the hospital, try to do a little bit of rounding on people. Thankfully, most of them are pretty stable. I only have a couple in the hospital right now, so we're actually doing pretty good and haven't really gotten a call on anybody. So hopefully that's all good. Anyways, Dolphins are on the board. We'll see what ends up happening here. Oh, moving over to some sparkling water. We'll hold that at night on the caffeine. But yeah, we are edging ever closer to the Falcons pick, and I don't know. We might have a little bit of a boost here to the stream. May not. We'll see. See how many people are interested in seeing me potentially blow up to whatever the hell the Falcons do. Dolphins again. The Dolphins can't go wrong with any of the guys that I just mentioned. Walter Nolan, Simmons for tackle out of Ohio State, or taking Will Johnson like that. That's a path to victory in this draft for any of them. So I think that if they do any of those moves, they're perfectly fine. Dolphins have 5 minutes left to make their pick as of this moment. I am going to take a brief moment here. Let's look and see. I'm going to play with some of my things. As Tom Grossi, one of my favorite streamers and YouTubers, says, time to pee for the D. Be right back. And we are back. Only pee for the D, guys. Always going to get that in there. All right. Let's see if we have anything for the Dolphins. Still nothing on PFF. I'm going to refresh that screen and see if we get anything. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. They're still not on the board yet. Again, it says the pick is in, so we'll see if we get it before the pick is actually made. Commercial break right now, so we got a little bit of time. All righty. Very curious who they're going to take here. Falcons are in a great position right now, just looking at what we need, what I think what the fans want to take. I think this couldn't have worked out any better. Okay, we do have the pick. Pick is in. Pick is in for the Dolphins. Okay, not a bad pick. Let me update it real quick, and I'll take you guys to it. Not a bad pick. Another player from a team that's already been from a college team that's already had some guys selected so far tonight. Let me get this on the board, and we will talk about it. Let's get back to the banner. Okay, let's add it on. All right, save that. All righty, guys, let's go to it. So Kenneth Grant, again, I think Nolan's a better defensive interior, but it's a decent enough move. I don't mind this one. It's not great. Again, I think it's not so much of a reach as much as it is that really the value? Again, how much do you value him over Nolan? That's kind of like how much do you value him there? We got somebody commenting them being in position scares me though. I'm assuming we mean the Falcons. Yes, the Falcons being in position to do what the fans want them to do, and what they probably should do is terrifying. It is incredibly terrifying. But anyways, going back to the Dolphins, Kenneth Grant. You're going to be fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. Oh, Tyler Warren. Okay, we got another one. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. And we have another pick here. Tyler Warren going to the Colts. The Falcons are about to be on the board officially. I got to come off of this. I got to come off. Guys, got to come off. Oh, chat. You guys got to let me know if you want me to break it early. We don't have the pick yet. You got to know if you want me to break it early when the Falcons make the pick. I didn't do it last year. I waited till they actually said it on stage because couldn't believe what at the time I thought was stupidity of that move. But turns out it was not the worst thing we could have done. We ended up needing it. So, yeah. Tyler Warren goes to the Colts. I think that is a great landing spot for him. I think giving help to a young quarterback there, Anthony Richardson, certainly a good move for him. Yeah. Guys, we're there. Yeah, Michigan players. Yeah, I know. It's wild. And you got Penn State player going. Yeah, it's woo! Woo! Got to prepare to scream one way or another. Got to prepare because we are 2 picks away. Just made the pick official. Kenneth Grant for the Dolphins. Tyler Warren's coming up. The Falcons for PFF are on the clock. The Falcons are on the clock. Oh, gosh. Oh, Lord. I know they're not on the clock yet for the official draft, but they are on the clock for PFF. PFF is never wrong in the draft. Never wrong. I want a trade. I want to see a trade. I don't know that we're going to see a trade, but I do want a trade to happen here if we can. Yeah, they've just said the pick is officially in for the Colts. Falcons need to be running. If they're not going to trade, they need to be running with a draft pick. They need to be running with that edge pick, which I think Mike Green or Jalen Walker, I think we would all be happy with either one of them. Watch, I can almost guarantee the Colts pick is in. They're going to go to a commercial. But it'd be just par for the course with ESPN. They go to a commercial break before the Falcons, and then they just skip right over the Falcons pick and go on to the next one. Just like talk about it after the fact. That would be very much an ESPN move to do because they hate Atlanta. They hate Atlanta Braves. They hate Atlanta Falcons. They hate Atlanta Hawks. They hated the Atlanta hockey team so much that they made them go all the way to Canada. So, to be fair, the Atlanta fans didn't really support that. I think we would support a team now. But yeah, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, is not even at the draft. Going to the Miami Dolphins. Not a bad one. I just think it's not the best move for them. Now, here's another thing. The Falcons could, Walter Nolan, best defensive interior on the board. You got to replace Grady Jarrett. But you actually took 3 defensive interiors last year, which is really a problem. We drafted last year. This was my problem with last year's draft. We drafted last year for the future. Only one guy really saw much of the field last year, and that was I can't even think of the linebacker's name, the guy from Notre Dame, and he wasn't very good. Ruka Ororo was a little hurt to start the season. He didn't see a lot of action because we had an overcrowded defensive interior room. Same thing with Brandon Dorlus. Didn't see a lot of action. You had Braylon Trice, who was hurt all last year. Again, a casualty of the first game of the season. So we don't know if we've got anything in him as an edge rusher. So you got to remember that. We do have Braylon Trice coming back. He was a guy that they were very excited for coming out of the 3rd round last year. And a guy who is functionally going to be like a rookie this year for us. So let's see what ends up happening here. Yeah, I kind of want to look. The Falcons are still on the clock for PFF. I am nervous because we do stupid things every year. We do stupid things every year. We don't build in the trenches. We don't build at the core positions. We like to take luxury pieces, and we don't need luxury pieces. And guess what the result of that has been? 7 straight losing seasons. That is what the result of that has been. If Tyler Ward officially pick us in, we know who it is. Falcons are now on the clock in every sense of the word. The Falcons are on the clock. Falcons are on the clock for the real draft. They're on the clock for the PFF draft. Let's freaking go. Let's go, baby. Rise up. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Falcons coming in here. Falcons coming in. We got 7 minutes left officially to make this pick. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, we have 7 minutes to make this pick. Are we going to make a trade or are we going to make the pick? Trade or pick? Trade or pick? Trade or pick? Oh, I don't know. I have no clue what we're going to do. Oh, okay. Let's see what we do. Let's see what we do. Because we're still on the clock on the PFF board. They don't know the pick yet. Pick's not officially in. 6.5 minutes. Yes, time stands still for this part. It didn't stand still last year. Actually, I take that back. Time did stand still last year. It stood still for 5 freaking minutes because I knew that we were taking Michael Penix Jr. for 5 minutes before it actually got announced. I just had to bite my tongue and bat my eyes and be angry about it for 5 full minutes, which seemed like forever last year until they actually made the pick. So, yes, it was a long freaking time last year. We'll see. Falcons still on the clock on the PFF draft. I know you guys can't see that, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Oh, boy. 5 minutes, 45 seconds left on the official on my end of it. I might be a little bit behind. I'm not sure how quick YouTube TV is on the draw here. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Falcons picking. Who are we going to get? Who are we going to get? Almost 2 hours into the draft. If I had it and it wasn't copyrighted, we would be playing Jeopardy music. Five minutes, 15 seconds. Falcons still on the clock. PFF Falcons still on the clock. So, yeah, I'm a little ahead, I think, of you guys here in a couple of ways. But, yeah, our Warren just got taken. 5 minutes even right now. 5 minutes even. 8-9 Falcons. The 7 years in a row losing team Falcons. The multi-year, I think we're the second longest team in the NFL the playoff drought here. Oh, boy. Pick is still not in for us. So, just FYI, PFF says we need a wide receiver. Bullshit. We need a center, definitely, but shouldn't take in the first round. We need a linebacker. We need an edge. I agree with the last two. I agree with those two. But we do need a center. Ryan Newsel will be fine, but we need a backup center, if nothing else, even though Ryan Newsel kind of is a backup center. It's not the guy that I want to be there starting all year, but he's acceptable if he is. But certainly not something we should be shooting for in the first round of a draft that doesn't have a lot of good prospects. So let's see. Falcons are still on the clock. We have not made a decision yet. We got 4 minutes left. The pick is not in yet. Oh, the war room may be a buzz for the Falcons. I don't know. Again, I can't hear anything that's being said. We don't see it. I'm on commercial break right now. Falcons are still on the clock on the PFF draft. Working the phones. I'm sure. I don't know what there is to be unsure about at this point. This draft could not have gone any better for the Falcons if we had asked it to, for the guys that everybody wants to take, that all the fans want to. If they screw this up, if they fuck this up, this has gone as good as they could have hoped for, as they could have expected. This truly is as good as the Falcons could have hoped this draft would go to this point. And I don't know that they have the capability of doing the right thing here. Now, the reason this might be taking a little while is that they might be trying to make a deal for a trade. Now, let me look. Let's see. Let's take a look back. Falcons are still on the clock on PFF. They may be just trying to wait till the very, very bitter end here to see if they can find a trade partner. That's the only reason I can think that we don't know what's going on in the Falcons war room right now. But 2 minutes, 45 seconds as of right now waiting. I like Walker. I think Walker's great. I think he'd be awesome. I like his pedigree better than Mike Green. I think they are in love with Mike Green if they're going to take an edge. We'll see what happens. I would be fine with either of them. I like Jalen Walker better. I disagree with PFF's evaluation, but we'll see. Falcons are still on the clock on PFF. We're just over 2 minutes. Just over 2 minutes left. You know what would be the most Falcon thing to do here? The most Falcon thing to do would be missing the pick and allowing the Arizona Cardinals to potentially rush to the clock and the podium and get somebody in. That would be the most Falcons thing to do right here. That would be a way to screw it up. I'm just trying to think in what way they can screw it up, and that would certainly be a way to do it. PFF, Falcons still on the clock. Still on the clock. Oh, Jesus, please no. Please not another quarterback. That would – guys, don't even joke about that, man. That would – you want to see me blow up? Y'all want to see me lose my shit? Take a quarterback here. losing my shit, that would be a quarterback pick here. So, yeah, Shedeur, I really do, though, think the Falcons are trying to work on a trade because we still don't know on PFF, and that's wild at this point. You got a minute and 15 seconds for the clock to come in here. So I do think that War Room is trying to make a pick. I'm trying to make a trade, though. They're trying to make a trade, and if we can make a pick, then great. Or make a pick, fine. Have it ready to go. Have somebody on that phone ready to make the pick if you can't make a trade. But Mel's best available sure center. That's bullshit. Mel doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Falcons are still on the freaking clock on PFF. It's not going to be like last year. We're not going to know what we're doing ahead of time. 45 seconds left. Are the Falcons going to Falcon this? Are they going to Falcon it? It sucks that is an actual adjective or verb, rather, to use for this, a verb. Are they going to Falcon it? 30 seconds. 30 seconds right now. Jalen Walker. Looks like he was texting, not on the phone. The pick is in. Pick is in. Falcons are not trading. The pick is in. Who is it? We know. PFF doesn't know. PFF is just as in the dark as we are, but the pick is in, baby. The pick is in. Pick is in. Oh, the pick is in. Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? Come on, baby. The pick is in. Pick is in. Yeah. Pick is in. Still nothing on PFF. The one pick tonight that PFF is not calling early is freaking Atlanta. Of course it is. Of course they're going to go 5 minutes early last year and be exactly on the same schedule this year. Maybe Atlanta weeded out their problem children. Pick is in. We got it. It's coming up. Pick is in. Pick is in. Pick is in. Oh, baby. I think we're going to be excited. We're going to get what we want. We are going to get what we want here. We're going to get what we want. Is it in? It's in. It's in. It's in for us. It's in. It is in. Is PFF in? We got it. We know who it is. We're going to be happy. We're going to be happy. I will just tell you, we're going to be happy. The pick is in. PFF has it in. I know who it is. We're gonna be happy. I'm gonna wait. He's coming up on stage right now. I'm gonna flip it over as soon as it happens. But we know who it is. We're gonna be happy. It's gonna be a year that we are not freaking sad again. That we finally got a guy that has like a top 10 grade. I love this. This is yes. Oh, we got something that we needed. All right, here we go. ATL. Let's go. I'll flip it over. I swear to you, I'll flip it over as soon as we get it here. He's coming out to make that pick. Here we go, baby. As soon as he does it. First round pick here. First time in 5 years I've been excited for this damn pick. First time in 5 years. Jalen Walker, let's go, baby. Woo! Jalen Walker, welcome to Atlanta. Oh, there we go. Good pick. Finally got a guy that we needed. Woo! Oh, baby. Woo! Is he actually there? Is he actually in Green Bay? Yeah, Jalen Walker, Georgia guy. Huge upside. Now, he hasn't had the number. He didn't really have a lot of the numbers last year, but Jalen Walker is phenomenal. He's young. He could be there for a long time. And again, didn't have a ton of the snaps last year, but he can literally play at any part of the defensive line. And that's exactly what they did. They moved him all over last year. He will probably be a pure edge rusher for the Falcons. Oh, I couldn't be more excited for this pick. Mike Green would have been fine. Mike Green's probably about to be an Arizona Cardinal. There's a lot of guys here. You got Walter Nolan. You got a bunch of guys that are still to be drafted that are good. But we finally in 5 years. It only took 5 years. Since we took AJ Terrell. I didn't love that move the first year we did it. It's worked out fine, but it only took 5 years for them to make a reasonable pick. Now let's go back. Yeah, let's go back and talk about what we missed in 2021 in the 2021 draft. Let's talk about what all we missed by taking a tight end in Kyle Pitts, number one. We missed out on Jamar Chase. Missed out on Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn. He's been hurt, but he's still good. Patrick Surtain. Devonta Smith has been perfectly fine and good. Missed out on Justin Fields, not that I necessarily wanted him. And we missed out on Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater, and Elijah Vera Tucker for other offensive lineup. So we missed out on a lot in that year. So that's Kyle Pitts in 2021. Didn't love that one. 2022, again, I'm glad that we have some of these guys. I'm glad that we have Drake London from 2022. Would I have rather had Charles Cross, who's been pretty good, or Garrett Wilson, who's been better than Drake London, arguably? Some of these other receivers, would I have rather had Jordan Davis, or who I really would have rather had was Kyle Hamilton, so we wouldn't be playing, wouldn't be playing rotating chair. What is it? What am I trying to say? Musical chairs at safety right now. Going back and then, going to 2023, getting Bijan Robinson. Again, I love Bijan, great player, but we missed out on Jalen Carter, missed out on Peter Skoronski, who I think is a fine tackle, just still working his way in there. Missed out on a couple other guys. Who else did we miss out on that was worthwhile in that one? Miles Murphy, Cincinnati Bengals, defensive end from Clemson, missed out on him. He's been good. Missed out on Nolan Smith from Georgia, who went to Philadelphia, has been great. And then, 2024 last year, obviously we had the Penix pick, which is insane that we're looking back on now and saying we're excited about that pick. But, other guys who missed out on, your New Orleans Saints got Talise Fuega, I think is how you say it. We missed out on Latu, Byron Murphy, missed out on Jared Verse, who was a guy that a lot of people thought was going to the Falcons, missed out on Dallas Turner, missed out on Chop Robinson, all these guys that have been solid, not necessarily great, but solid edge rushers. And finally, we have needed defense for years. We have needed a guy who has the potential to be a 10-sack guy. And if you combine him with Braylon Trice, you're going to have a completely new edge room. Let's talk about the Falcons, what we brought in for free agency. Falcons free agency. I got to go back and look at who all we've brought in because I forget. My brain is just – I can't believe we actually did something right. Leonard Floyd. They bring in Leonard Floyd as a rotational guy. Now you have your guy in Jalen Walker. Super excited to have on board, playing at the edge as well. You will get Braylon Trice healthy again after his ACL injury. Hopefully it's not a major one, but he's a young guy too, so hopefully he can bounce back. You have Rukaroro, who should be stepping up along with David Onyemata on the defensive line. You don't have Justin Simmons anymore, but who did we bring in? What was his name? It's the guy from we re-signed Mike Hughes, but who did we bring in? What was his name? It's the safety from Carolina who's not bad. Fuller. Jordan Fuller. So we got him back there along with Jesse Bates. AJ Terrell. Mike Hughes played pretty well as corner two. Now we need a linebacker. Round two, I think we go for linebacker. Troy Anderson can't stay healthy. We just lost he was undrafted and he didn't play well last year. I can't remember his name off the top of my head here. We just lost the guy. K. Nelson on the last year of his deal. We need to beef up that inside linebacker room. You did bring in what is his name? Divine Diablo. So you brought him in as a linebacker, but we do need more linebacking depth. Guys, I'm just so excited. This is incredible for the Falcons. This is finally a pick that we can be proud of, a pick that we can be happy about. I don't even care how the rest of the draft goes. We did what we needed to do here. Walter Nolan apparently is going to the Cardinals. Calling that early. I think he's the best defensive interior. He's going to be very good for them. But, man, I'm just so excited for this one. I really had only intended to do the draft through the Falcons pick tonight. I appreciate you guys that have stuck with me through this. It's a good night to be a Falcon. I got to go do work tomorrow. I got other things going on. I am going to just change the banner real quick just so that it is on here where we have Jalen Walker, the Dirty Bird, Jalen Walker. So freaking excited for that. Then, like I said, we had Walter Nolan coming off the board right after. Man. The franchise got me excited again. They're giving me hope. It's the hope that kills you. See what we can do. Falcons always rise up. We've been through some rough years. And I'm not going to lie, this year's probably going to be rough too. I'm not anticipating us doing well. In fact, I'm going to get off the draft tracker here, and I'm going to just kind of go to Falcons 2025 opponents. We got some tough opponents here. Just looking at the future opponents, hopefully you guys can see this. Yeah. So we got tough opponents this year. We have the usual suspects for home and away. For home, we have to play Stafford and the Rams. They won't have Cooper Kupp anymore, but they still got Puka Nacua. Seattle Seahawks, completely different team. That's a much more winnable game now. Buffalo Bills, always tough. That's a game that I will for sure be going to. Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, and an incredibly speedy offense. And, God dang, playing the Washington Commies again. I think we've played them 4 years in a row now with this one. So we'll have the Washington Commies again for a home game. So, tough games, particularly these last three here, plus the division game. So you got, I would say 5 or 6 really tough home games. And for the away, you get the Cardinals. Going to the Cardinals, that's a winnable game. They're improving as well as they just did with that draft pick. New England Patriots, winnable game. Saints always tough. Panthers is winnable. They're always winnable. Jets winnable. 49ers is tough. They're going to beef up. They're going to be better this year. Tampa Bay is always tough. Minnesota, who the heck knows? It depends on how good McCarthy is. Indianapolis Colts. This is a year that I don't know. This is one where I'm not sure how we do. Looking at it, my initial thoughts are sweep Carolina, split with the Saints, split with Tampa Bay, so go 4-2 in division. A split between these two, so we're 5-2. A split between these two, so or not 5-2, 5-3. So maybe this 6-4. Commies could go either way. We almost beat them last year, and I think we can do it this year. I'm going to give us that one for the benefit of the doubt, 7-4. Cardinals, I think we win that one 8-4. Patriots 9-4. Jets 10-4. I'm going to say we lose to the 49ers. So 10-5. Minnesota maybe 11-5, and then Indianapolis. One of these two teams will split one of these. So I think like our bet, just immediately having the team that we've got, picking and not doing something just absolutely stupid. I think that our ceiling right now, and this is really more of a ceiling that I'm looking at. Our ceiling is about 12 wins. Realistically, the ceiling is more like 11 wins, but we're probably going to be – it's just going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. I'm thinking we're probably going to be, another 8-9, 9-8 season here again as Michael Penix really learns this offense and steps into truly his rookie year. We're going to be depending a lot on DeMarco Hellams coming back in and playing kind of a nickel corner role or a backup safety role. We're going to depend a lot on Braylon Trice and now Jalen Walker coming in. It's going to be an interesting year. Falcons have brought me some renewed hope, some renewed faith. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. And as always, rise up.